Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, please consider checking out the new upcoming V5 books about the Schism. It delves into the history and lore of the sect. It adds multiple role playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder level powers, and much more. You can find the link just below the video. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, aka Mark, one of our players and our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom tracks you'll be listening to during the game. If you'd like to listen to some more of his stuff, there is a link below to his SoundCloud. Consider supporting him and, enjoy his stuff. And lastly, if you enjoy this session and you want to see more, consider following us both here on Twitch if you're watching live, or on YouTube if you're watching the recording. We stream on Twitch every Sunday at 7 p.m. CET, and we usually interact with the chat to some extent. And you can also find us on YouTube at Erise Games, where we read and respond to most comments whenever we can. Remember to like and subscribe, and we always like to hear your suggestions. If you have any, mention them in the chat or comments, depending on which platform you're enjoying this stream on. And without further ado, let's delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Enjoy. And we're back. This time, we join Larry at around midnight as he waits just outside of the mansion. And as he hangs around, he once in a while looks up to the sky. He sees the stars because this area in particular doesn't have a lot of light pollution apart from the city and the horizon. Once in a while, the same bird as usual seems to land near him and sort of hop through the porch's railing and sort of watch Larry once in a while. And as time passes, it's almost there's almost an inkling of doubt in Larry's mind whether or not Oswald will actually show up. What is going through Larry's mind?
Doubt. He's waiting. He can't wait. He can't sit around. He stands up, takes a small walk, looks at his bird, looks back into the sky, into the streets, trying to spot maybe Oswald is approaching, maybe he's not. He is just nervous.
Yeah. And as Larry paces, essentially changing between walking around in the dirt road impatiently or stepping onto the wooden Porsche that still needs a lot of maintenance. Eventually, he turns around and sees Oswald with his hood still pulled up, watching Larry with a somewhat apprehensive look, with his body sort of sideways and his head like slightly lowered, with a slight twinge of fear.
I didn't hear you approach.
Good. Means I haven't lost my touch. What do you want?
I wanted to talk to you.
I'm here. What do you want to talk about?
Why do you despise me?
There are a few reasons. Best you don't learn all of them.
Tell me some at least.
Oswald seems to look sideways at you, and he seems genuinely worried about speaking on the topic, but after a few moments he just says, you had habits you never really tried to hide. I have no idea why people still trusted you, but they did.
I raise an eyebrow, look at him questioningly.
Uh, you know how your Sabbat buddies discipline their shovel heads? You know, the
I
beatings,
can guess.
the manipulation, all of that stuff.
Yes.
At least the Sabbat do it for a purpose.
Did I do it too?
For fun.
He can see that Larry sort of looks away into the ground, sighs, looks back up at Oswald. To to whom?
Oswald just pulls the hoodie back, and as he looks at you, he sort of, with a somewhat shaky hand, he raises and just points to his missing eye.
Oh. Larry looks into the ground once again. If you need to hear it, I will say it.
I don't need to hear anything from you. Not even a little.
I am not a man I used to be. I was broken and disassembled. Maybe for the best of everybody. I don't I I don't want our common past to get in between our relationships.
After a few moments of just silence, Oswald's posture sort of goes from one of caution to one that is willing to listen, though it's hard for you to tell if this change is like this change in posture is genuine or not. And he says, "Well, there are some mistakes people can't really forgive you for. I'm gonna try, but
I don't need your forgiveness. I need your understanding."
well, then tell me what the fuck Strauss did to you. I mean, I get he turned you into this, but usually when that happens, people don't lose entire lives.
If I would know, if only I would know. I only remember being tortured. This. Do you know how Strauss looks?
Yeah, I think everyone in that sect does. Why?
I remember a man towering over me, very pale and bearded,
Yeah,
long hair tied at the back of his head,
that's not Strauss.
bright blue eyes.
Not Strauss. Why the hell did you side with him anyway? He had an entire clan at your back. You could have become prince, and you decided to side with him.
I don't know. I don't think I would have decided to side with him ever. If only I wouldn't have to negotiate with him or kill him, maybe.
You never really wanted to kill him. At best, you wanted the position he was going for after the previous prince spit the dust. But killing people outright was never what you were after. You'd make sure
Why did I torture you? Why did I kill other Nosferatu? Isn't it prohibited?
You killed other Nosferatu.
I don't know. I thought so, from what you were telling me, and the others were.
Well, that does explain a few things, at least. Explains where a few of them disappeared off to.
put the blame on me just yet. I don't know what have I done and what I have not.
You seem pretty convinced you killed some of the clan.
Well, from... Who is the head of Nosferatu right now?
I can't tell you that. You know that.
Why?
Because if I do, that's my head on the stick already. And that's if I manage to get away for a very long time.
I don't wish to harm anybody. I just want to know. I talked to this man, and he... how to say... disliked me at most.
If he was of the clan, there are reasons for that being the case. The fact that you're a known traitor to the clan, that helps.
So, what are my crimes? What did I do?
Well, apart from apparently killing some Nosferatu,
I just shrug my shoulders and raise
Oswald
my arms.
Doesn't really seem to react to that. He just continues. Apparently, you really, really, really wanted the position of prince, and the clan, as always, helped you. Only the day we were supposed to actually confront Strauss, you went in with some of our elders and a number of the Primogen at the time. You began speaking about what you do just as you left the Warrens. By the time you got to the tower where Strauss was going to make his claim, we lost contact with every single one of the team members that went with you. Primogen apparently didn't see anything. You vanished, and Strauss came to power, only to then have you by his side.
He set me up.
You weren't a gargoyle standing by his side.
I wasn't. Was I... Did I ever contact you? Or any of you?
I tried to contact you. The rest of the clan said it was wasted effort, and apparently it was. Soon after, you vanished, and no one ever heard about you again. We just assumed you were dead, as most people who side with that snake do.
I don't believe that I did it intentionally. I could have never done that.
Someone as old as you? I'd say if it wasn't intentional, you sure as hell got manipulated into it really well.
Very He looks into the sky in the moment of silence. So, there is nothing I could do to prove my innocence to others.
If there ever was, the fact that you are now part of the Sabbat. Yeah. And the fact that you're a gargoyle. Those two things make it pretty clear. Clan can't really trust you, even if I, to some extent, do. I'm sure Strauss tricked you into doing something that you didn't want to do. If there was a way to turn back the clock, I'm sure I'd do that, but as things stand, you're an escaped gargoyle that once served Strauss, and you are now part of a sect that wants to kill Strauss. All of this just screams revenge for not getting the power you wanted.
When I escaped the tower, I couldn't remember anything but utter disgust to somebody called Maximilian Strauss. It is not about the power anymore.
Yeah, but how do you prove that to a clan who's quite literally collected every single secret you ever had and locked it in a little box reserved for traitors? How do you change that perception? How do you rename yourself into a trustworthy ally when every piece of evidence that's been collected just points to you wanting either a seat at the throne or Strauss's head on a pike for not getting that seat?
I cannot, but perhaps I could convince them. Other Nosferatu, our clan members.
Look, I don't know how the fuck you're gonna convince the others, but there's a very easy way for you to convince me.
And that would be...
You may not have been the best sire. I would like to be at least a decent sire to my child. You make sure my child survives whatever the fuck is going on with him. Makes it out of the country, hides away, hell.
Are you talking about... what was his name? Sosimo. Why can't you do that?
Because my clan knows I'm looking for him. My clan knows I'm trying to change his mind. My clan knows I want him redeemed. They're not happy with it. What would benefit the clan most is letting him die in this suicidal attempt to get revenge.
What is his plan?
As far as I know, he's improvising. Improvising damn well, since I don't know where he is. But improvising.
What did he do?
He's so far made it very, very clear to the Camarilla that one of your pack members is still alive. A pack member who is suspected of defecting. Likewise, he's revealed your previous haven. No one was found there, so it's easy to assume that all of you escaped. But he's still trying to get all of you killed.
Why? I heard the part of the story from my packmates, but I didn't hear the full picture.
He had a brother, a ghoul. Your pack ended up killing that ghoul for nothing else than disciplining him. Worked a bit too well to make him ruthless.
I see.
Look, he's got his head all mixed up. Okay? As soon as we manage to hide him, get him out of the country, I'm sure he can work this out in his mind, but right now he's in danger. You help me keep him alive, you got my trust. That's basically it.
Just tell me what I need to do.
Well, your pack's already working on a way to find him, I'm sure. If not, they'll try to eventually get someone to chase him down, or chase him down themselves. As soon as they lay eyes on him, well, I've been promised that they'll let him go. I know they won't. But you could.
I saw Serena making a decoy of herself. Could you do that too?
Ironic that you'd ask me that. No.
Why?
Before all of this, one of the plans I hatched with my child was to create a copy of his brother and let that copy die instead. Usher the brother into safety somewhere. I made a deal, and that deal fell through, and his brother ended up actually dying. Point being, I can't make a copy of anyone. I'm good at gathering intel, I'm good at spying, I'm good at taking pictures people would rather I don't. Used to be my job when I was alive. I can't really fake someone's existence.
If it takes this for you to trust me, I will do everything I can.
Good.
but I need to know about my clan too.
Depends what you ask, but I can help most of the time. What do you want to know?
Who is the head of Nosferatu now?
I've already told
Who
you I
did I
can't
talk?
tell you that.
Why?
Because the moment I do, it's my head on a pike. And
I am not going to share this information to anybody.
what are you gonna do once you get the name?
I will know who I was talking to and have a better understanding of the situation. It's not like I can remember them.
Did you get a name?
What do you mean?
Of the person you were talking to. You know you were talking to someone. Did you get a name?
No. That's why I'm asking you.
So all you got is the voice. And the fact that apparently they're in charge of us. Whatever that means.
Don't you got a person in charge?
Depends who you ask. But usually there's a head of the Warrens who's very respected. That said, so long as you're working with the Brood, it doesn't really matter who's reporting to who.
What does matter?
A few things. Clan secrets. Existence of things hiding in the dark that pose a threat bigger than Strauss.
What things?
It's a whole legend. Do you really want me to get to story time?
Is it... I don't remember anything.
Alright. So, I'm sure since you're in this particular pack with these particular people, you've been told about the whole shtick with the antediluvians, Cain.
Yes.
Good. Our antediluvian was, for lack of a better word, a fucking psycho. And he thinks that whatever's wrong with him gets fixed if everyone who's part of his bloodline dies. So he has this very small group of Methuselahs who have an appetite for rat blood, if you catch my drift.
I do. And are you afraid of them?
I think the biggest irony is that we're the only ones who are really afraid of them, even though they pose a threat to pretty much everybody that comes across them. They're really difficult to spot. It's one of the reasons why they're still a secret to everybody else. In other words, maybe keep this information to yourself.
Right. So... Can you tell me something about my clan? I wish to
Gargoyles?
know. No.
You're not a Nosferatu anymore. Look at you. You don't even share half of our abilities.
Who am I then?
Beats
Who
me.
do you should me count as?
It
Am I
beats
a stonish being? One of the kind? Am I a bone of Strauss? Am I a Sabbat member?
I don't fucking know what you
Well,
are.
I don't know either.
Oswald sort of seems to rub the back of his head in frustration and say, "Look, whatever the warlocks did to you, it changed you clearly, and it changed your mind. Either you're manipulating right now, or, what I'm inclined to believe, you actually don't remember anything from before, and you'd like it to get fixed. Point being, Nosferatu don't really trust people outside of the clan all that much unless they prove themselves. And so far, your history is as a member of the clan who betrayed the clan. Do you understand why it's so difficult to build trust here?"
I do. But I wish to have reliable information about the clan.
I can give you some, but forgive me if my head's on a chopping block if I share too much. I mean, what do you
How
expect me
would
to do?
anybody know that you were the source of the leak?
You know, there's a saying that other clans back in the Ivory Tower have about Nosferatu. Wherever you go, assume that there are at least 3 Nosferatu listening to everything you say.
Are they here?
I don't know, and you're not going to find out by trying to look. That's just the truth of it.
What information can you give me?
I can tell you a bit about customs that we have. I can tell you about the political situation we have in the Camarilla, what we usually treat our own like, etc., etc.
I wish to know more.
Ask questions. Let's see if I got answers.
How can I find Nosferatu?
You can't. They usually find you if they want to.
But there is a way.
And there's a way to contact them, sure. Not really a way to find them.
Do you really believe so?
Would I be stating it to you if I didn't?
Then how come your Methuselah find your brothers?
See, that's the thing. If you can help it, they don't find you. We have ways of knowing where some activity from those fuckers happens, and whenever that happens, we exit the hazard area. Make sure there's not a single one of us or any information that could lead to us within sight. And let that elder continue to hunt and hunt and hunt and find nothing until he gets bored, moves elsewhere. That group of Nosferatu moves around, and The Warrens in LA will fill up again at that point.
Why do Nosferatu dislike Sabbat so much?
We don't. But out of all the
What is
sects,
the
it tends to
tension
be.
rising?
Hmm?
Why is the tension rising then?
Well, it's not because of us.
I narrow my eyes.
Look, essentially, we don't care what sect our members are part of. Sabbat, though, have a tendency to make sure their members are loyal to a fault, which means that whenever one of us joins the Sabbat, we know that it's a potential leak of information that shouldn't be happening. We monitor that leak and we make sure it doesn't spill too much.
So, what is the political situation?
Which sect?
Sabbat and Nosferatu related.
So far, we had 3 members in the sect. I seem to have been ostracized. Currently we have...
Ostracized?
Your pack didn't tell you much about me. Apparently, I helped their main fugitive escape. Never mind the fact that I did give them accurate information and I did nothing to make my child do what he did. It was entirely his own decision. I hid my head because I know how dedicated Sabbat members can be. We have a thing for...
Why did you show up?
I told you. My child is currently making a mistake. And there's one group of people that sort of know him. In particular, there's one group of people that has the tools to actually find him. I need those tools, therefore I was willing to make that trade. My clan doesn't want me to help my child, but it is what it is.
So, point being, while talking to me, you're committing a crime to your clan.
Not a crime. I'm just potentially sharing things that I shouldn't share. If I share enough, well,
Then tell me more about Nosferatu.
well, we have an incredibly solid standing with the Camarilla. They really couldn't do much if we weren't part of them. Essentially, any information they know, ultimately, they only know it because we allowed it, or outright told them. As for anarchs, we're useful to them, so they tolerate us, essentially. Even if the Toreadors in Hollywood would rather have us stay in the sewers instead of climbing into their pristine strip clubs.
Why didn't you put another man of your clan in the position of prince yet?
We tried. Oswald just seems to look at you with a very, like, deadpan stare. You sort of get the idea that when he said, "we tried," he's referencing you.
Why didn't you try after me?
Because right now the throne is occupied, and the entire
And
Camarilla in LA is loyal to that one Tremere.
why don't you just kill him?
It doesn't work that way. If all we needed to do was kill him, there would be no prince ever, would there?
So, who is getting all the gains out of relationships with all the sects?
Us.
Who?
The entire clan.
There is no person in charge as
Does
as I
there
was.
need to be? You were a pretty high-ranking member. You were trusted. You had weight to push around. You had good standing within the tower, you had good standing within the Anarchs, and you had a decent relationship, as far as we could tell, with the Sabbat, as far as they tolerated you without killing you outright. You had power. You weren't happy with the power you had, but you had it.
Is there no such person in the clan's ranks right now?
A few.
Who are they?
For the last time, I can't tell you.
You
If I tell
can.
you the names, you'll go looking for them and you'll get yourself killed.
I want to know. I don't wish to do anything to them.
I can't tell you. Ask something else.
He sees as I tense up, grab my knuckles and fingers into fists.
Yeah, as you do that, Oswald's expression almost immediately snaps to one of, like, terrified panic, and he takes a few steps back, almost in a position where he wants to, like, cower and hide.
Why don't you trust me? I am your sire. You must do as I say.
Let me make a roll. Yep. So for a moment, you get this sort of flash in your mind. You see yourself again in the time where you were Nosferatu, gripping the cane by the shaft of it, almost as if holding a hammer, with both your fists tensed up. And you remember shouting at Oswald, who is in the corner, basically covering himself as best as he can. He's covered in bruises. And you just remember, after shouting and shouting and shouting, you just take the cane and you go for a swing. And as soon as the connection is supposed to happen, you snap back to see Oswald basically falling on his ass and like crawling away from you, looking terrified.
There are two main emotions in Larry fighting fiercely with each other. First is willingness to know and to manipulate Oswald in telling him, and the second one is pity and sorry for what he has done. Is there a role that could judge what emotion would lead?
Well, we could judge this as essentially how well you control your desire to achieve your goals versus the empathy. So I'm gonna do something very weird.
Yep.
Let me double check. Actually, I don't have access to that right now. Can you tell me your humanity score?
Oh my god, poor fucking Oswald. 6.
6? Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll self-control.
Just a moment.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fail. So you're going to do whatever the fuck it takes to achieve your goal, even if that means like losing a bit of the grip you have on your emotions. After you do it, depending on how bad it gets, you might have to check if you lose some humanity. Proceed.
Poor fucking Oswald. I am so sorry. Oh my god. I was his child and now I am his sire. And he was so kind to me when I was his child, and now I'm so fucking brutal to him.
Like I said, proceed. Welcome to the world of darkness. Play the role, bitch.
You do as I tell you to do, and you do not disobey. I am your sire, and you are my child. If I wish to know something, you better please me until things start to get bad. And I will approach him and pick him up by the scruff.
Okay.
And just raise him in the air, his face up against my face.
All right. So I need you to roll me. Since this is like genuine, like anger, charisma, intimidation, and
Do I have an advantage?
do you have any specialties?
Nah.
Then just roll
due to
in.
the common backstory.
I'm not gonna tell you the difficulty.
So it's 3.
Yeah. Okay. And as you basically grab him by the scruff, he almost seems, panicked. At first it looks like he's going to resist. But when you actually look at what he's doing, he's mostly trying to like cover his face, sort of getting ready to, get pummeled. And as he does this, you just see his mouth sort of open, trying to say something, and all you hear is just a bunch of stuttering. No information is coming out.
I will let go of him. Just let him fucking drop to the ground as a bag of potatoes. And look at him looming over him. Just look him straight in the eye. Maybe step on his gloves that he wouldn't be able to get up. Now, I wish to know, and you will answer my questions as truthfully as you possibly can. Who are those people?
Who would you be referring to? Just out of character?
The Nosferatu people that have some power and privilege in the clan.
Well, again, Oswald seems to sort of default to this almost fetal position where he's just covering his head. And you see his arms like shaking like crazy. He's just almost face down in the dirt, trying not to get too badly hurt. And he just seems to sort of like almost shout in a panic, Gary! Gary! It's Gary!
Gary who?
Nosferatu Primogen.
And how can I find him?
I don't know.
Where are Nosferatus in LA located?
Hollywood.
Where in Hollywood?
The sewers. They're down in the sewers.
Do you know the place?
Yeah.
Can you see them when they are hidden in the shadows?
No one does.
Perception, empathy?
I mean, you don't even need to roll. He's scared shitless. If this isn't true, he's just saying it to save his own skin.
Yeah. Tell me everything you know. And I will just listen.
Yeah, you just wait, and all you can actually hear from him are, like, terrified sobs. He sort of, like, folds into himself and seems to be in this, like, almost instinctive fetal position, trying to protect himself, and just fucking sobbing.
I will put my leg away from his gloves.
And as soon as you lift your leg away from his clothes, it's like his eye, as soon as his eye darts to his clothes and notices he's free, you just see him, like, immediately, as if almost on all fours, just scramble away, and right before your eyes, he fucking vanishes.
I will scream at the top of my lungs. Oswald, come back here. I am not finished talking. I will not harm you. Why are you running?
Absolute silence. You just stand there. There's no response. All you hear is the wind rushing by. and looking down, you just see where his face was, just a puddle of vitae that slowly
Larry will just...
coagulates and decays.
Yes, I will just die, dart into the sky and fly off and disappear in the night.
And as you jolt up into the air, I need you to roll me very quickly conscience.
Poo-poo. Poo-poo.
Yeah, as you take flight, there's this sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. You feel fucking awful about what you just did. You tried to tell yourself you did it because you needed to, but you just feel awful about it. And you get to keep your humanity. For now. And as you take flight, no sign of Oswald as far as the eye can see. We will end tonight's session. I hope you enjoyed. As a last...
Well, I fucking did not. It was horrible.
Supposed to be. Welcome to the world of darkness. Anyway,
Oh, God.
as we close up the session, do remember to check the links below. Check the book, check Mark's music. Really talented. Both Mark and Amalia, who is the author of the book. And do remember to check us out on Twitch and YouTube. Remember to subscribe, you get updates. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.